What would you do for opportunity? Would you fly halfway around the world for a dream job? Would you trust a wealthy businessman offering you luxury, success, and a new life? Would you believe that sometimes fairy tales really do come true? 25-year-old twins Aaliyah and Amara Johnson did. And it cost them everything. Here's the question that should terrify you. How do you tell the difference between a life-changing opportunity and a deadly trap? How do you know when someone offering you the world is actually planning to destroy yours? Welcome to Secret Witness, the channel where we uncover crime, betrayal, and the darkest secrets people try to hide. Every day we bring you gripping true crime-inspired stories that will shock you, haunt you, and make you question what really happens behind closed doors. So before we dive into today's chilling story, make sure you subscribe and ring the bell icon, so you'll never miss a single twist. November 8, 2023. Dubai, United Arab Emirates. A private security guard patrolling a luxury villa in the Palm Jumeirah sees something that makes his blood run cold. A man in expensive clothes dragging two large suitcases toward a black SUV. At 3 a.m. Moving quickly. Looking over his shoulder. The security guard approaches. Asks what he's doing. The man says he's leaving for a business trip. Early flight. But one of the suitcases shifts, and a hand falls out. The guard pulls out his phone. Calls police. The man drops the suitcases and runs. Inside those suitcases are the bodies of two young black women. Twins. Bound. Bruised. Dead. They'd flown to Dubai just 5 days earlier, excited about new jobs working for a wealthy prince. They'd posted about it on Instagram. Dubai, here we come. New chapter. Now they were dead. And the man who'd lured them there was running. But he wouldn't get far. Before we dive into this horrific case, drop a comment right now telling me where you're watching from. What happened to Aaliyah and Amara Johnson is a stark reminder that predators exist everywhere. Even in the most beautiful places. Even when the opportunity seems perfect. And as this story unfolds, I want you to ask yourself, would you have taken the job? Would you have believed him? Drop your honest answer in the comments. Because these sisters weren't stupid. They weren't naive. They were smart, ambitious, careful, and I might wanted to secure a good job for themselves. But life didn't go in their favor. Aaliyah and Amara Johnson were identical twins from Birmingham, Alabama. 25 years old. Beautiful. Intelligent. Inseparable since birth. They'd grown up in a working-class family. Their mother, Patricia, was a school teacher. Their father, James, worked at a steel factory. Money was always tight, but their parents made sure the girls had everything they needed. Both sisters had graduated from Alabama State University with degrees in business. Aaliyah had focused on marketing. Amara on international relations. They'd always dreamed of traveling the world, starting successful careers, making their parents proud. But Birmingham didn't offer many opportunities. Most of their friends had left for Atlanta or Charlotte. The twins stayed, working entry-level jobs, living together in a small apartment, saving money, waiting for their big break. They were tired of waiting. Both sisters were active on Instagram. They'd post professional photos, career updates, motivational quotes. They had a modest following, about 5,000 followers each. Nothing viral but enough to get noticed. In early October 2023, Aaliyah received a DM from an account called at Sheikh Khalid UAE. The profile was impressive. Verified blue checkmark. 500,000 followers. Photos of luxury cars, private jets, yachts, 5-star hotels. The bio read, Sheikh Khalid Al Rashid business mogul Dubai connecting talented people with opportunity. The message was professional. I came across your profile and was impressed by your background in marketing. I'm currently expanding my business operations in Dubai and looking for talented young professionals to join my team. Would you be interested in discussing a potential opportunity? Aaliyah screenshot the message and sent it to Amara. They both thought it was probably a scam. Rich men didn't just randomly DM college graduates from Alabama offering them jobs. But Aaliyah was curious. She responded, "Thank you for reaching out. What kind of opportunity are you referring to?" Sheikh Khalid replied, "I run a luxury hospitality and events company in Dubai. I'm looking for marketing coordinators to help expand our brand internationally. The position offers a $120,000 annual salary, housing provided, travel allowances, and full benefits. If you're interested, I can arrange a video call to discuss details." $120,000. Housing provided. Dubai. Sounded too good to be true. But when Aaliyah Googled Sheikh Khalid al-Rashid, dozens of articles came up. Forbes features, Business Insider interviews, photos of him with celebrities and world leaders. His company, Rashid Luxury Group, was listed on multiple legitimate business websites. Everything checked out. Over the next 2 weeks, Aaliyah and Amara had 3 video calls with Sheikh Khalid. He appeared professional, dressed in traditional Emirati attire, sitting in what looked like a luxurious office with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Dubai. He explained that his company specialized in high-end events, luxury brand partnerships, and international marketing campaigns. He said he specifically wanted to tap into the American market and needed coordinators who understood Western social media trends and marketing strategies. He asked about their experience, their education, their career goals. He seemed genuinely interested in them as professionals. During the third call, he made a formal offer. $120,000 annual salary each, a furnished 2-bedroom apartment in Dubai Marina, round-trip business class flights, health insurance, and a 1-year contract with potential for extension. He'd email them official contracts from his company's legal team. He'd arrange their flights and visas. All they had to do was say yes. Aaliyah and Amara looked at each other on the call. This was it. This was their big break. They said yes. When the twins told their parents about the Dubai opportunity, James and Patricia were skeptical. Patricia asked how they'd found this job. Who was this Sheikh Khalid? Why would a wealthy businessman in Dubai hire 2 girls from Alabama he'd never met in person? The twins showed them the contracts, official-looking documents with company letterheads, legal language, salary details. They showed them Sheikh Khalid's verified Instagram, the Forbes articles, the business credentials. James still wasn't convinced. He said if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Why not wait and do more research? Maybe visit Dubai first before committing to a full year. But Aaliyah and Amara were 25. They were adults. They'd made their decision. On November 3, 2023, they boarded a flight from Birmingham to Dubai. Their parents drove them to the airport. Patricia cried. Had a bad feeling she couldn't shake. Hugged her daughters tight and made them promise to call every single day. The twins promised. It was a promise they'd only keep once. The flight landed at Dubai International Airport at 11:30 p.m. local time. Aaliyah and Amara walked through the gleaming terminal, amazed by the luxury surrounding them. Sheikh Khalid had arranged for a driver to pick them up, a man holding a sign with their names, dressed in a crisp black suit. He loaded their luggage into a black Mercedes and drove them to what he said was their apartment. But they didn't go to Dubai Marina. They went to Palm Jumeirah, one of the most exclusive areas in Dubai. The twins were confused. Sheikh Khalid had said their apartment would be in Dubai Marina. The driver said there'd been a change of plans. Sheikh Khalid wanted them to stay at his villa for the first few days while their apartment was being prepared. Aaliyah and Amara exchanged glances. This felt off. But they were exhausted from the 20-hour journey. And the villa was beautiful. Massive gates, palm trees, ocean views. The driver brought them inside. showed them to a guest room. Said Sheikh Khalid would see them in the morning. The twins called their parents as soon as they were alone. Told them they'd arrived safely. That everything was beautiful but slightly different than expected. Patricia asked if they felt safe. They said yes. It was the last time Patricia would hear her daughter's voices. The next morning, Sheikh Khalid met them for breakfast. He looked different than he had on video calls. Older, harder edges to his face, eyes that didn't quite match his smile. He apologized for the confusion about the apartment. Said there'd been a plumbing issue and it wasn't ready yet. They'd stay at the villa for a few more days. Then he asked for their passports. Said he needed them to process their work visas. Aliyah hesitated. She'd read online that you should never give your passport to anyone in a foreign country. But Sheikh Khalid insisted it was standard procedure in the UAE. That employers held passports during visa processing. Reluctantly, they handed them over. That's when they became prisoners. Over the next 2 days, things got progressively worse. Sheikh Khalid told them they couldn't leave the villa yet. Said it wasn't safe for them to go out alone until they understood Dubai's laws and culture. He took their phones. Said it was to install local SIM cards and work apps. They never got them back. When they asked about starting work, he said they'd begin training soon. But first, they needed to adjust to their new environment. On November 6th, Aliyah demanded their phones and passports back. Said if he didn't return them, they were leaving and reporting him to the police. Sheikh Khalid's demeanor changed. The professional businessman vanished. What replaced him was something cold. Something evil. He told them, "You're not going anywhere. You belong to me now. And you do exactly what I say or you'll regret it." The twins realized the horrifying truth. There was no job. No marketing position. No luxury hospitality company. Sheikh Khalid wasn't a businessman. He was a predator. And they'd walked right into his trap. What happened over the next 48 hours is almost too terrible to describe. Sheikh Khalid, whose real name was later revealed to be Khalid Mansouri, a known criminal with ties to human trafficking and sexual exploitation, kept the twins locked in that guest room. He'd come in periodically, bring them food and water, make threats, tell them what he planned to do to them. He said he specialized in breaking women, that he had buyers all over the Middle East who paid top dollar for American women, that Aliyah and Amara would be sold within the week. But first he wanted to test the product. The twins tried to fight, tried to escape, but Khalid was stronger. And he had help, 2 other men who worked for him, both equally sadistic. The abuse was horrific. Physical, sexual, psychological. They were bound, beaten, violated, treated like objects instead of human beings. On November 7th, Amara stopped fighting. She'd retreated into herself, eyes vacant, spirit broken. Aliyah kept begging Khalid to let them go, promising they wouldn't tell anyone, offering him money they didn't have. But Khalid wasn't interested in money. He was interested in power, in control, in watching them suffer. And on November 8th, around 1 a.m., something went wrong. The twins had been tied up in the guest room. Khalid had been drinking heavily, celebrating what he called a successful acquisition. At some point during the night, investigators would never know exactly when or how, both Aliyah and Amara stopped breathing. Whether it was from the physical trauma, from suffocation, from injuries sustained during the abuse, or from something else entirely, forensics couldn't determine for certain. What they knew for sure was this: by 2 a.m. on November 8th, both sisters were dead. And Khalid panicked. Dead bodies meant police involvement, investigations, exposure. His entire operation could collapse. He needed to get rid of them. Fast. Khalid and his 2 associates wrapped the bodies, put them in large suitcases, the kind used for international travel. planned to drive them out to the desert, bury them where they'd never be found. At 3 a.m., Khalid loaded the suitcases into his SUV, told his associates to clean up the villa, eliminate any evidence. He was dragging the suitcases from the villa to his vehicle when the private security guard on patrol noticed him. The guard, a Nepalese immigrant named Rajesh Kumar, approached, asked what Khalid was doing at such a late hour. Khalid tried to play it cool, said he had an early flight, business trip. But Rajesh noticed something odd. One of the suitcases shifted, and a woman's hand, fell out through a gap in the zipper. Rajesh's eyes went wide. He stepped back, hand reaching for his radio. Khalid saw the recognition in Rajesh's eyes, saw him reaching for the radio, and ran. He didn't even try to grab the suitcases. Just bolted toward his SUV, jumped in, and sped away, tires screeching. Rajesh immediately called the Dubai police emergency line. Within minutes, patrol cars were swarming the area. The officers opened the suitcases. What they found made even seasoned investigators sick. 2 young black women, identical twins, bound with zip ties, bodies covered in bruises and marks of abuse. Dubai police moved fast. They pulled security footage from the villa's cameras, got a clear image of Khalid, ran his face through their database. Within 2 hours they had his full identity, Khalid Mansouri, 42 years old, Kuwaiti national living in Dubai on a business visa. Multiple prior arrests for assault and fraud in Kuwait and Egypt. The verified Instagram account? Hacked from a legitimate businessman. The Forbes articles? Photoshopped fakes. The company? Completely fabricated. Everything had been a lie designed to lure victims. And Aliyah and Amara weren't his first. Police discovered that Khalid had used the same method to lure at least 57 other women to Dubai over the past 3 years. 48 had been trafficked and sold. 1 had escaped and fled the country, too terrified to report what happened. The rest were never found. The twins were his latest victims. By 6 a.m., every airport, border crossing, and port in the UAE had Khalid's photo. Interpol was notified. He was considered armed and extremely dangerous. But Khalid wasn't trying to flee the country. He was trying to disappear into Dubai itself. November 8th, 8 a.m. Alabama time. James and Patricia Johnson's phone rang. It was the U.S. Embassy in Abu Dhabi. A consular officer told them their daughters had been found dead in Dubai, that they were victims of a homicide, that local police were investigating. Patricia collapsed. James caught the phone as it fell from her hand. This couldn't be real. No, this can't be true. We spoke with them just 3 days ago. They told us everything was fine. Everything was okay, beautiful, exciting. So how's this possible? Oh no, tell me this is not true, please. My babies. How were they dead? The consular officer explained what little they knew. The girls had been lured to Dubai under false pretenses, held against their will, and killed. The suspect was in custody. No, wait, correction. The suspect was at large. A manhunt was underway. James asked how this could have happened. How did his daughters end up in suitcases in a foreign country? The officer had no answers. Just condolences. And a promise that the U.S. government would work with UAE authorities to ensure justice. Patricia was screaming in the background. A sound no parent should ever have to make. The sound of a mother learning her children are dead. By November 9th, Aliyah and Amara's story was everywhere. CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera. Social media exploded. Their Instagram posts from November 3rd, Dubai, here we come. New chapter, were shared millions of times. People couldn't believe these beautiful, excited young women were now dead. The hashtag Justice for the Johnson twins trended worldwide. Their community in Birmingham was devastated. Vigils were held. Their church was packed with hundreds of mourners who couldn't believe this had happened to two girls they'd watched grow up. Their college, Alabama State University, released a statement calling them bright lights taken too soon. But the biggest response came from Black women on social media. Thousands of women shared their own stories of being approached by opportunities that seemed too good to be true. Of wealthy men promising jobs, trips, luxury lifestyles. This wasn't an isolated incident. This was a pattern. And Aaliyah and Amara had paid the ultimate price. Khalid Mansouri had been on the run for 2 days. He'd abandoned his SUV in a parking garage and gone underground, using his network of criminal contacts to hide. But Dubai has one of the most sophisticated surveillance systems in the world. Cameras everywhere. Facial recognition technology. AI tracking. On November 10th at 2:30 p.m., a camera at a shopping mall in Dara flagged Khalid's face. He'd changed his appearance, shaved his beard, dyed his hair, wore glasses, but the AI system identified him with 98% certainty. A SWAT team was dispatched. They surrounded the mall, locked down all exits. Khalid was found hiding in a storage room in the basement, wearing janitorial clothes, trying to blend in with mall staff. He tried to run when he saw the police. Made it about 10 feet before he was tackled to the ground. He didn't go quietly. He fought. Screamed that they were making a mistake. That he was innocent. But the evidence said otherwise. Dubai police spent 3 days processing the villa where the twins had been held. What they found was a house of horrors. The guest room where Aaliyah and Amara had been kept had cameras installed in the ceiling. Khalid had been recording everything. Police found hundreds of hours of footage, not just of the twins but of other victims over the years. The footage was too graphic to be shown in court, but investigators had to watch it all. Had to document every moment of abuse. Had to catalog the torture these women had endured. Several officers had to take psychological leave after viewing the footage. Forensic teams found DNA evidence from at least 56 different women throughout the villa. Blood, hair, skin cells. All evidence of violence and abuse. They found the twins' passports hidden in Khalid's office safe. Their phones smashed and destroyed. Their belongings still packed in their suitcases, never even unpacked. And they found Khalid's client list. Dozens of names. Men across the Middle East who'd purchased women from Khalid over the years. Each transaction documented. Prices listed. Delivery dates confirmed. The investigation expanded. Interpol got involved. Arrests were made in 17 different countries. Khalid Mansouri wasn't just a murderer. He was the head of an international trafficking ring. Khalid's trial began in Dubai's criminal court on April 15, 2024. UAE law is strict and swift when it comes to murder and trafficking. The prosecution presented overwhelming evidence. The surveillance footage, the forensic evidence, testimony from the security guard who discovered the bodies, expert testimony about the cause of death. The medical examiner testified that both twins had died from a combination of blunt force trauma and asphyxiation. Their injuries were consistent with prolonged physical and sexual assault. Khalid's defense attorney, assigned by the court as Khalid couldn't afford his own, argued that the deaths had been accidental. That Khalid had hired the twins as legitimate employees, that things had gotten out of hand, that he'd panicked. But the prosecution destroyed that argument. They showed the fake Instagram account, the fabricated documents, the client list, the videos. This wasn't an accident. This was premeditated kidnapping, torture, and murder. On May 1, 2024, after 3 weeks of testimony, the verdict came in. Guilty on all counts. 2 counts of first-degree murder, kidnapping, human trafficking, sexual assault, and fraud. Under UAE law, the sentence was swift and severe. Death penalty. Khalid would be executed by firing squad. Under UAE law, death penalty sentences are carried out relatively quickly, usually within a few months. James and Patricia Johnson were notified that Khalid's execution was scheduled for July 20, 2024. They were given the option to witness it if they wanted. They declined. Patricia said she didn't want her last memory of anything related to her daughter's deaths to be watching their killer die. She said no amount of justice would bring Aaliyah and Amara back. On July 20, 2024 at 6 a.m. Dubai time, Khalid Mansouri was executed at Al Wathba prison. He was given the opportunity to make a final statement. He said nothing. Just stared straight ahead as the execution squad raised their rifles. The execution was confirmed at 6:03 a.m. Khalid Mansouri was dead. This has been the most touching cases anyone has heard in recent years. As the Johnson family continues to grieve, James and Patricia will never recover from losing their daughters. The house feels empty. Holidays are unbearable. They visit their daughters' graves every Sunday. Aaliyah and Amara are buried side by side in Birmingham. Their headstone reads, "Twin sisters, forever together. Taken too soon." Patricia has become an advocate for online safety education. She speaks at schools and community centers, warning young women about the dangers of online job offers and romance scams. She's working with federal lawmakers to create stronger protections for Americans traveling abroad for work opportunities found online. The U.S. State Department now includes warnings on its travel website specifically about fake job offers in the UAE and other Middle Eastern countries. Rajesh Kumar, the security guard who discovered the bodies, was awarded a Medal of Honor by Dubai police for his quick thinking and bravery. Several men from Khalid's client list were arrested and are serving prison sentences in their respective countries. And the villa where the twins died? It was demolished. The land sits empty now. No one will build on it. Some say it's cursed. Others say it's a memorial to all the women who suffered there. Perhaps the most haunting detail, Aaliyah and Amara's Instagram accounts are still active. Their parents haven't had the heart to take them down. The last posts are still there. November 3, 2023. Dubai, here we come. New chapter. The comments section has become a memorial. Thousands of messages from people around the world. Prayers. Condolences. Warnings to other young women to be careful. Their mother sometimes reads the comments. She says it helps her feel connected to the outpouring of love for her daughters. But she never scrolls past that last post. Can't bear to see their faces so happy, so excited, so full of hope for a future that would never come. The Johnson twins were victims of predators who weaponized the internet, who used social media, fake profiles, and carefully crafted lies to lure women to their deaths. They weren't stupid. They weren't careless. They were normal women looking for jobs, opportunity, adventure. Things we all want. But they were targeted by men who saw them not as humans but as products, as objects, as things to be used and discarded. Here's what these cases teach us. Reverse image search every photo. Video call at random times, not just scheduled. Never travel to meet someone without telling multiple people your exact location. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Meet in public places in your country first. For job opportunities ***. Verify the company through official business registries. Never hand over your passport to an employer. Research the person offering the job through multiple sources. Be skeptical of offers that seem too good to be true. Have a backup plan and emergency contacts in the destination country. For everyone ***. Tell people where you're going and check in regularly. Share your location with trusted contacts. Research the laws and safety of any country before traveling. Register with your embassy when traveling abroad. Trust your gut. If you feel unsafe, leave immediately. If these stories touched you, drop a like and comment below. Have you or someone you know ever been approached with a too good to be true opportunity online? What happened? And be honest, before hearing these stories, would you have fallen for the same traps? Share this video with everyone in your life. Every daughter, son, every sister, brother, every friend who's active on social media. Because the next Aaliyah or Amara could anyone or someone close. But we are all praying nothing of such happens to us or our loved ones. Inshallah. In Jesus' name. Amen. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because every week, we expose the predators hiding behind screens, the monsters disguised as opportunities, and the truth behind headlines that shock the world. This has been Secret Witness, True Crime Stories, where every swipe could be the last, where every DM could be a death sentence, where the person offering the world might be planning to take it. Until next time, stay safe, stay skeptical, and never, ever trust someone just because they have a blue check mark on any social media accounts. Okay, because Aaliyah and Amara trusted that too, and it didn't end well.